Okay, so now we're going to give some definition to his face, and if you look at him straight on, he looks kind of bug-eyed. And what I like to do is recess the eyes just a little bit by cinching a little bit of string in between the two eyes. So what we're going to do is I've just got some matching yarn, and make sure that your tail is down to a single strand. And we are just going to ever so gently go in and around one of the eyes, just going in between the yarn. And now we are going to gently go in and through and to the other eye on this side. Now you don't want to tug on this one too much yet, because that's not quite locked into place. And now we can run back up to the other side. And now we can offer just a little bit of tension. Not a lot, just enough to recess those eyes just a little bit. Now do you see the difference? It just tucks those eyes into the face and just gives a little bit of dimension here. It's a little bit harder to see on video, but it makes a difference just in person. Kind of gives a little bit of an eye socket there. So that is what you're looking for. And you can just keep finessing that just little bit by little bit until you're happy with the end result. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Now, all we have to do is run our yarn up through the top or the bottom of the head. And now we're just going to hide where we end our stitches. And that way it also really secures those eyes in place, recess into the unicorn. Now, mind you, I'm not cinching this. I'm not pulling really tight. We're just hiding those entails and kind of locking them in place so that way those eyes don't go anywhere. And that's it. Now we will start on the horn for the unicorn. Okay, so we are going to count from row 18, which is here. And remember, that's where we placed the eyes at the base of row 18. So we're going to count from row 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to find the center Now we're going to count up 1, 2, 3. And then just kind of eyeball equal distance in the center. And that is the outline of where your stitches are going to go in order to add your horn to your unicorn. Now normally I work with a 3.125 millimeter hook, and that's what I did the unicorn with, but I'm going to actually go down to a 3 millimeter hook to make the horn. You can also go down to a 2.25. In fact, yeah, I think we are going to go down to the 2.25. I usually just drop it just a slight amount just to give a tighter weave for that unicorn horn. So now we're going to just take a loop. We're not going to tie this into a knot, but instead we're just going to take a loop, leave yourself a decent tail, pull up one of your straight pins, and go into one of the stitches where that straight pin was located. Now it may not be perfectly straight on, but you're just going to try and use that your straight pins as your guide. So now we're going to chain 2, And now we're going to remove another straight pin. And usually for every straight pin that I remove, I like to put in at least 2 stitches. Don't forget to hide your tail as you go. So that's 3 stitches there. Now we're going to remove another straight pin. And this takes a little bit of finessing, just going around that first time. And now we're going to remove another straight pin. And now another stitch. Now we're going to remove another straight pin. If you have tight stitches like I do, sometimes it takes a little bit to get back into them. That's why I drop down into a smaller knitting crochet needle. There we go. And so now that gives you the base for your horn. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And there's the honey bunny. So 12 stitches all the way around, and then every other row that you go up, you're going to decrease to make your horn. Okay, so first row we had about 12 stitches, second row 12 stitches. Now starting our third row, we are going to do a decrease, and then 10 stitches, 10 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we have 11 stitches around the top. So now we are going to crochet 3 single crochets, and now around the front we're going to do 1 decrease. And we're keeping it on different places on the actual horn of where we're doing our decreases. Otherwise, if we keep all the decreases on one side, it will cause the horn to curl. And instead, we want a really nice straight horn. And that will make 10 stitches all the way around. And now we can do one more decrease on this side. And now before you start closing that off too much, you do want to fill your unicorn horn up with just a little bit of polyfill. So now we're just going to do another decrease. This will take us down from 8 to 7. And now we're just going to do another decrease, which will take us down to 6. And now we're just going to skip one, which will take us down to 5. Now before we get ready to close this up, we're just going to take a little bit more filler and just make sure that we fill in just the top part of this unicorn horn. Now I will actually cheat and have just a little bit of filler in my hand. Run my crochet hook up through that crocheted horn, and then gently pull some of that polyfill down into that horn. And just wrap it around that hook just a little bit. All right. And now you just want to continue reducing. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 1. And I think one more will do it. Do 1 slip stitch. Cut your tail. And then you'll just weave your tail back in, down, and in through your horn. Just so that way it doesn't unravel. So you'll need a darning needle. Now mind you, you don't want to cinch this because then it will cause your horn to curl, so you don't want to do that. We're just hiding that tail end, making sure that we weave those edges back. And there is your unicorn with its horn. Next, we're going to work on the ears.